Prokaryotes perform important functions for organisms and the ecosystem. Can you guess what you think the prokaryotes do before we move on to the slide? Prokaryotes are, most of prokaryotes are bacteria. What do they help you do? They help break down dead remnants of food. They decay the remnants of food, return the nutrient back to the soil to help to improve the nutrient of the soil. And some of these prokaryotes, like I mentioned to you, the lactobacillus. Lactobacillus is actually used in the yogurt company to help produce yogurt to ferment the milk. So prokaryotes live in the digestive system of animals. They help to make vitamins, they break down food, they fill niches. What does that mean, fill niches? They fill the niche of organisms which are decomposers. Is understood. You know, we have niches. Niche means the different level of organism in the food chain. In every level of the food chain is called a niche. We have the producers, consumers, so they fill the decomposer in food niche of the food chain. Bacteria help to ferment food like yogurt, cheese, and all of these are made by use of bacteria. Pickles, soy sauce, vinegar, all of these we use bacteria to do them. Prokaryotes play an important role in the ecosystem. How? Prokaryotes have many functions in the ecosystem, like they help in photosynthesis. What do we mean? We have many prokaryotes that are photosynthetic organisms. They have chlorophyll, which they use to carry out the process of photosynthesis. They also have to, we have some other one, mycorrhiza. Mycorrhiza is actually a bacteria that help to fix nitrogen into the soil. It helps to fix nitrogen into the soil. So they help to what, like I mentioned to you. So this is an example of the mycorrhiza. So it's actually a symbiotic interaction between microorganisms and the root of this leguminous plant. Bioremediation is using prokaryotes to break down pollutants, oil spills, and biodegradable materials. This is a project I actually did while I was in my fourth year in the school. I was meant to talk about bioremediation. So bioremediation is a process by which microbiologists, they are trying to use prokaryotes to break down oil spill. Where there's oil spill in the water, they want to put microorganisms, most especially the prokaryotes, to help to break down the oil so into what we can actually consume. So this is, you can see we don't have much to talk about here. So bacteria is necessary to prevent and treat disease. If you know the way bacteria, the way they do, the way they operate, it's going to be pretty easy for you to treat diseases. Some bacteria cause disease. Bacteria cause disease by invading tissues or making toxins. Some bacteria invade. When you say invasion, the meaning is they would get into the water, into the tissues, multiply, increase in number, and take over it. While some of them would make toxins on the food you want to eat. So once they make toxins on the food, then they cause you food poisoning. So now a toxin is a poison released by an organism. A toxin is people say they have food poisoning. Have you ever heard that before? When someone tells you I have food poisoning, the meaning is it's got toxin released by what? By the organism in the stomach. So this is an example of the way it happens when someone has got food poisoning. So normally harmless bacteria can become destructive. We normally have bacteria everywhere in the body, on the skin, in the armpit, on some other parts of the body. They naturally live there. We call them normal microflora. We call them what? Microflora. They naturally live in those places. They don't cause you problems. They don't cause any harm. They make you fine. But they only cause you problems when they have an opportunity. So that's why I say may colonize new tissues. Then you can see now this guy's got caught on the skin. Though the bacteria which are found naturally on the skin, which are not harmful, they will not become destructive. They form pus on the injury. Immune system may be lowered. The bacteria can destroy the immune system. Now let's see some examples of the infection caused by bacteria. Acne is an example. It's caused by Propionibacterium. Propionibacterium. It causes chronic cyst, blackhead. Have you ever seen a blackhead before? It's called when there are too much of oil on the nose. You see some blackish stuff. So when you press it, you see a black thing coming out from it. Those black stuff, they actually got from oil production on the skin. So when the oil production on the skin is too much, it forms blackhead.
What is it about white?
That's normal pimples. But when it becomes black, which you can press out, we call it acne. So it's actually called propionibacterium. Anthrax is also another very deadly bacterial infection. It's called by Bacillus anthracis. Bacillus anthracis. So it causes fever, trouble. You find it difficult to breathe. What happens is when you sweep in a room, try to wet the place or cover your nose so that you don't inhale the endospores. So when the endospores are being inhaled, it becomes a big problem. Another one is Lyme disease. It's called Borrelia burgdorferi. It's a very dangerous disease caused by a bite from ticks. When ticks bite you, they cause you. Another one is tetanus. Tetanus is caused by Clostridium. Clostridium tetani. It makes the muscles to spasm and becomes very weak, cause a lockjaw. So it might cause you to sometimes the jaw becomes locked when it tightens the mouth together. That's when the tetanus has got to a very high scale. Another one is a tooth decay when you eat too much of chocolate. So it's called by Streptococcus mutans. Streptococcus mutans, they destroy the tooth cavity. Why? Because you eat too much of sweet things and there are a lot of bacteria in the mouth. So this is antibiotics are used to kill bacteria disease, or kill bacteria. Antibiotics must stop the cell wall formation. These are the ways to stop it. They might cause the cell wall to stop forming. Antibiotics do not work with viruses. Many people give you, when you have flu, they give you antibiotics. They're causing you more problem because they will make you to be more resistant to antibiotics. They make the bacteria in you be more resistant. Prevention is the best method to fight bacterial infection. The best is to prevent it. So bacteria is gaining resistance to antibiotics. Why? Overuse. Many people use too much of antibiotics. They just use it. Why using it? I just feel like I want to use it. I know people, and they just taking it. Many people give the antibiotics to the animals for no reason. So a bacterium carries gene for antibiotic resistance in the plasmid. A copy of the plasmid is transferred through conjugation, which I showed you before. So the resistance is quickly spread through many bacteria. The resistance to any new antibiotic, can you imagine? The scientists are making antibiotics every day. They make one today. In 2 years, there's a resistant bacteria to it. They spend 10 years of approximately 7 years to make one medicine, and in 2-3 years, they're resistant to it. So now is a big problem we're facing. So we don't know what to do. So overuse is one of the problems. Underuse is another problem. When you don't use enough, the doctor says take 400 milligram and you're taking 200. Say, it's too bitter. I can take 400. One is okay. Like people complain a lot. So this is one of the reasons why they become resistant. Another one is misuse it. So antibiotics must be used properly for you to get yourself safe from